We should be good. We got levels.
Yeah,
We
baby.
should be live in a second, so I'm just waiting for that to kick in. And in the meantime, my friend, how you doing today? Good to see you.
It is great
Welcome
to see you,
back,
dude.
Mr. Joey D.
Oh, yeah.
And happy to talk some baseball. I know Dave's not the biggest baseball guy, so I'm happy to get you here to talk some baseball with us.
Can we get a little do?
Oh, we're going to get that. We're going to get that. By the way, did you listen? Wasn't yesterday's show, the show before. You weren't able to make it, but I issued an apology to you. Did you hear the apology?
No, I did not hear the apology.
No, now you can go back. It's on the live stream. It's on the podcast. I had to issue an apology because and again, I'm gonna do it face to face because I felt bad. I still feel a little bad because in our fantasy league, we played against each other 2 weeks ago.
Yes, we did.
And it got to be Sunday night about maybe
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock-ish, and I texted you and said, congratulations. You were up by like 40 points. I had Sutton, a kicker, and a defense left to go. And I'm like, and you still had McCaffrey going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, listen, dude, I'm happy if I lost somebody, I lost to you, whatever. Send it to you. And then you promptly send back, it's not over yet.
It's definitely not over yet.
It's not over. It's not over. I said, dude, come on, look at it. Like, you got one of the best running backs in the game going. And then, like,
as you were saying this, I'm like, well, McCaffrey's not even coming back into the game.
Well, yeah. So I didn't know that. And 40 seconds or so goes by. And yeah, it was a bit where, like,
It's fantasy football. You're not out of it.
You're not out of it. But then Monday night came, and it was still late into the game. I was down 13, 14 points still with
but you still got 3 guys.
But I had like 9 minutes left to go in the game. It was like the fourth quarter. So I'm still sitting there. But either way, I felt bad about it because I had literally projected out to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it just made me feel bad.
I projected out to the universe. I said, give it to Erich. It's okay. I will take the L. Because I'm going to give him the L if I see him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I didn't want to, because I wasn't trying to rub it in. I wasn't trying to, like, I just felt bad. So I issued an on-air apology.
I told you exactly how it was going to happen, too. No, maybe I didn't say it to you, actually. I told somebody, though. I was like, Sutton's probably going to get 20 points. I was like, Famous Jameis is going to throw at least 1 pick to the house. I didn't expect 2. I knew 1 was going to happen.
The 2 is what gave me the win.
Exactly. And then Will Lutz, I figured 10 to 12 points, and he got 11.
Yeah, so no,
that's what happens.
Had to feel bad though. So anyway,
I didn't.
I digress. We're here to talk baseball today though, not fantasy. So I'm excited to talk some baseball because I'm optimistic. I'm curiously optimistic, and I want to see how you feel. But before that all happens, if you're catching us early, before we actually hit the record button here, feel free to do all those things for us. Like, subscribe, follow, share.
Please.
We're trying to get to 50 subscribers on YouTube.
We're up to 30, though.
Before the end of the year. Let's see what happens. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind doing that, we'd really appreciate it. And it just helps us grow, and it doesn't cost you anything. So if you're here watching anyway, why not do it?
Your Christmas gift to us could be that. Something as easy as that.
And we'd gladly take that Christmas gift.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so why don't we kick the show off? Why don't we get things going? And
I'm feeling groovy.
Yeah, let's do it. My friend. Oh wait, we're gonna have to redo that.
That's what I figured. It's okay.
So we're kicking it off one more time. Had to shout something down to the way. In the meantime, it's good to be back, yeah. With Joey. With Louie, who's joining us for a second night straight. I'm happy to have Joey here tonight.
And he's so
as we get into some baseball topics. Last night we talked all football. Tonight we're just going to hit baseball hard because there's a lot going on with winter meetings. You know, pretty much wrap it up. I think they're done tomorrow.
Really? I thought it was a whole week. But
I think it's Sunday to Thursday. I could be wrong.
No, you might know better than me.
I think it's around there. But either way, it's been an interesting few days. And where we have to start, of course, is with
The $765 million man.
Now, we're going to start with, before we dive into any of the Yankee stuff, what do you think about this for a Mets signing? If you're a Mets fan, how do you feel today? And I know we got some Mets fans. I don't know if they're going to join us in the chat. I know Carl, I know Tim. I know a few people out there are Mets fans. If you got an opinion on Juan Soto and getting Juan Soto, definitely give us your opinion, because this is a monster, and I got to know.
It's amazing. I love it for them.
You love it for them?
I absolutely love this for the Mets. They needed a superstar. They needed somebody to get the butts back in the stands. I think I know they went to the NLCS this year, but I think like for most part of the season, half of their stadium was basically just full. So this definitely amps that up 100%. And you got a bona fide Hall of Fame stud, someone who's gone to 2 World Series, has won a World Series in that lineup. It's going to be him and Lindor either batting 1-2 or 2-3, which is a nasty combination. I think this is an awesome signing for them, and it's going to project very well. I know now, because of that signing, they are now ahead of the Yankees as far as World Series odds are concerned on DraftKings. I know they went above them. But this is an awesome deal for the Mets. Love it. Really do.
Well, as a Met fan, of course, you'd love it because it's not your money. So spend whatever you want. This is why you got an owner like Cohen, who's the richest owner in baseball, to come in and do these things, to flaunt his money, to flat out tell people, I am going to outbid you. And he did. And he did. And listen, the Yankees didn't put up a shabby offer, $760 for 16 years. Apparently, you know, I hate the leaks that are coming out afterwards. I'll be honest, because the whole thing about, oh, his family was mistreated at the stadium in April or May, and now all of a sudden, and how
leaked out now,
and how he wanted a suite as part of the deal, and the Yankees wouldn't give Jeter a suite, and they didn't give Judge a suite.
So why would they give Soto?
So if you're not even team captain, why? I'm sorry, we can't justify giving you a suite. Like, you want to pay for it? You want a discounted rate? You want something else? Like, we could work something else out. But like, no, I'm sorry, I can't give you something. I'm not giving any of our captains or our best player even, because the best player on the team is still Judge. We can't give you special treatment over him. You're already gonna get more money than him, almost twice as much. Like, we're not giving you that too. Mm-hmm. Where Cohen came in and said, "Fine, I'll give you the family suite, whatever."
They got nothing going. They got nothing else going for them. The Mets are able to give them whatever
exactly,
he wants.
And he did. And listen, it's a big contract. It's a lot of years. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to sit here and be a bitter Yankees fan and be like, "Oh, the Yankees are a better team now because they didn't make that deal." Whatever. No, Soto could help this team win. You saw the difference he made in this team. Last year,
got him over the hump.
He got them over the hump. He got them to the World Series. He helped this team. He was big in the postseason.
Yes, he was.
He was everything you went out and traded for. So I'm not going to sit here now and be like, "Oh, he's shitty at this and he's terrible." Again, will some of his skills decrease? Yes. Do 15-year deals ever work out for the back end of those deals? Never. Like 10 years from now, the Mets are probably going to have to look at the last 5 years of that contract and have to eat it the same way that the Yankees looked at eating the end of A-Rod's contract. The same way they're kind of looking at, although...
Eating the back end of Judge's contract.
Well, no, I wasn't even going to say Judge, but I was going to say Stanton here, because a lot of people complain, like, "Oh, we got Stanton on the roster for another..." Whereas I think he's on through 2026 or 2027.
I think 2 more years.
Yeah, so 2 more years, but a lot of people say, "Oh, well, it does more..." But again, even though he played a big part of the postseason, and
he was arguably the best player,
unbelievable. So, and listen, I think he's a DH now, though, and eventually,
100%.
To be honest with you, that's where Soto's going to end up. So it's thankful that the NL has a DH now, because that's a landing spot for him. Mm-hmm. But you're going to be paying a DH $50 million a year. So you better hope that 10 years from now, that contract, or what I was hoping, and what I'm sure that if I'm a smart Mets fan, I'm hoping 5 years from now, he opts out, tries to go bigger. That's what I would hope. Like, whenever that opt-out is,
I think it for these next 5 years, and then he's looking for $60 million.
Exactly, or something, because somebody else. And I got, so I can't get mad about it. At the same time, are the Yankees a worse off team now without Soto? Yeah. Like, they don't have the same lineup. You take him out of the lineup, He's not. This lineup isn't nearly as good. Now they're trying some things. I hear rumors out there. I'm sure we're going to get into all of that. But this Soto news was the news everybody was waiting for. I'm kind of glad it didn't last till March.
I'm glad
or February,
it didn't last even till Christmas.
That it got done early.
All the other dominoes can now fall.
They can, and the other dominoes are starting to fall. I'm hearing a lot of things going on. Red Sox went out, traded for one of the better young pitchers in the game, or that a lot of people consider Garrett Crochet. He was a guy that a lot of people looked at as one of the bigger trade assets out there. Red Sox happen to land him from the White Sox for prospects. You got Evaldi signing back with the Rangers, although a lot of pieces still haven't dropped yet. You still don't have where Walker's going. You still don't have Arenado apparently picked 6 teams. None of those were the Yankees, though.
None of them were the Yankees.
Which is surprising to me.
Mets and Red Sox were on the list.
Which is surprising, especially because he had opened it up and saying he'd be willing to play first base too. Why wouldn't you look at the Yankees? I don't get that. But hey, to each their own.
Yep.
He wants to go where he wants to go, and if he wants to go to the Mets, let him go to the Mets.
Him,
you know what I mean? I would love to see the Mets and the Dodgers just slug it out for the next bunch of years.
I could
you know what I mean?
See the Mets being like a Dodgers type of situation, unfortunately.
The problem is they got no pitching.
Well, they have to develop pitching. And
they have no pitching. Did you look? They signed Clay Holmes to be their number 2. He is their number 2 starter. And Frankie Montas is number 3. When you got Frankie Montas as your 3 and Clay Holmes is your number 2 starter, you saw now as a Yankee fan.
I don't think Clay Holmes is their number 2 starter.
He is. I'm telling you. I saw it. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Hang on. I'm going to find this.
I really think, though, that the Mets are going to re-sign Sean Manaea as well. I think he's coming back. He proved he could pitch in New York. He could pitch at, I was going to call it Shea Stadium. It's not Shea. It's Citi Field. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. And then you got a decent rotation right there then. But most importantly, their lineup is just stacked. I wonder if they're bringing back Alonso.
Is their lineup stacked?
I think it is. Vientos could probably hit about 30 homers.
I don't
think. Lindor. You got Alvarez. If you bring back Pete, yeah, I think it's pretty stacked. They don't have J.D. Martinez, though. J.D. Martinez, I believe, is a free agent, so they did lose a bat in that. But
so right now, the way you're looking at through the depth chart is Alonso, McNeil, Beatty, Lindor, Nimmo. Well, this is last year, so we're taking out Bader.
Yeah, it's now Vientos.
Yeah, so
Bader's not there anymore.
I don't see this as a stacked lineup, though. I'll be honest with you. And I think they need pitching, and they don't have it. I'm trying to find that pitching staff for you.
You got Senga. All right. He's going to – hopefully he comes back healthy. You still have Quintana, I believe. I think they're going to bring back Manaea. Severino went to the Oakland A's. They spent the most – which is so odd to me. The Oakland Athletics spent the most amount of money in their free agency ever on Luis Severino. So odd to me. I don't know why they would do that. Well, it's because they're moving. But anyway.
Can't find it. But either way, you look at their pitching. Kodai Senga, and then after that, Tyler McGill, Montas, Clay Holmes, and that's what you got. You don't have a good starting, they need pitching. So I don't know if they have the money left to go out and spend on Burns.
They definitely got the money.
You say that, but how far over to luxury tax? Because already, if this goes over to luxury tax because of Soto and everything else, you're looking at he's going to have to pay. It's not like I looked at the Soto contract. Somebody put it out there that it was like right now, based on the luxury tax and everything else, that contract is actually worth to Cohen what he's going to have to pay is $1.6 billion, including the luxury tax. So it's not. It's not an endless amount of money this guy has. He has some kind of limit. He's only got $20 billion, Yeah. If he's going to spend one of those billions on one player, he's already cutting into his wealth.
So right now the rotation is Senga, David Peterson, Frankie Montas, Clay Holmes, and Paul Blackburn, who they got from the A's at the trade deadline last year. That's the Mets starting 5. So you're right. They definitely need another pitcher. I know they're linked to Sasaki the guy from Japan, which I want the Yankees to get, but I don't think that's happening now since the Yankees signed Max Fried, which is a great deal for them. But if they can bring in Sasaki and if they can bring back Minaya, I think that adds depth to the pitching staff, and I think it's actually going to be a pretty good pitching staff. And you still got Diaz as a closer. That's the thing,
but
man.
Diaz is shaky at best sometimes. So
Well,
I'm not
he was
gonna...
just coming back from injury last year.
Listen, do I think the Mets are a better team with Soto on the roster? Yes.
Hell yeah, they are.
But they need to do more than just patchwork pitching. They need to go out and get some pitchers. And that's where I'm going to turn the attention to the Yankees, because after they lost out on Soto, they didn't waste a ton of time. They went out and got...
Real quick, I'm actually shocked you're not freaking out that the Yankees didn't get Soto. I thought you would be like...
No, see, I had my moments
about that. I honestly did.
See, I had my moments, but the thing is I can't look at it as the Yankees didn't try. Now, if you told me that the Yankees did what the Giants did with Saquon and don't even offer him a deal, then I'm going to sit here and tell you, yeah, I'm absolutely shocked and disappointed. Okay. I can't say that. When I look at it, if you're going to tell me Howell didn't try, you're full of shit. Hal tried on this one. 16 years, $760 million is nothing to sneeze at. Yes, it was one more year than the Mets. Yes, it was $5 less million. But it's still a very competitive offer. And it was right there. You're not talking far off money. So I'm sorry that he didn't get the suite. And I'm sorry that, but again, I'm not going to sit here and shit on his play either, because he's a great player and he's going to do good things for the Mets. I'm not gonna tell you he's not. He is. He's gonna be a good player. So, he may compete. He may boost Lindor. Actually, it may be a help for Lindor now.
Absolutely.
To have him in the lineup. It's gonna help everybody. So I can't, from the Mets' perspective, I can't shit on it. Even though I'm a Yankee fan, and I want to. I can't, because it's a good signing for them. At the same time, I can't be mad at the Yankees because they made a legitimate offer. They tried. They put in the effort. They put in the work. They showed him all year long. We showed him in the postseason. The fans tried to show him how much they cared about him and how much they wanted him. And in the end, he wanted a suite for his family and he wanted the most dollars. So that's where he went.
That's what I always thought.
So again, I
thought
can't.
He was going to the top.
So that's
dollar.
why I can't sit here and rail on the Yankees for not getting him,
dude.
I can't sit here and say the Yankees should have won $800 million. No, because why? He was a guy who made. To be honest with you, Judge play out of position. Mm-hmm. Judge is going to go back to right field now.
Correct.
So now Judge could, but now we can put the Martian in center field. And to be honest, I like that. Like I like. Having him come up and let's see what this kid's got. He's supposed to be an unbelievable 5-tool. Let's see it.
I hope we see it for the whole year.
I want to see it. I don't want to see us go out and get guys like they're talking about trading for Tucker. From
still need a
Houston.
left fielder.
We do, but I don't want to trade Gill, who just won Rookie of the Year. They want Gill in the trade package. I'm sorry. A guy who's a really good pitcher and under control for a bunch more years.
Yep.
We're going to trade and do the same thing we did. We got rid of Michael King to bring in Soto, and yes, it helped us. But again, are we screwing ourselves? Because again, if we do it another year in a row where now we give up another good young pitcher with control and bring back a guy on a 1-year deal because Tucker's a free agent, and then we're going to be in the same mess we're in now. So I'd rather not see that trade go through. I think there's other ways to work around this and still put a good lineup on the field. Unless you can work a trade. And to be honest, I would probably put Clark Schmidt in a trade if they wanted him. If they wanted young starting pitching. But I'm not putting Gill. I'm not putting Gill.
I do like Schmidt though. Shout out to Jordan Knutson in our chat right now. He's hoping that Corbin Burns signs with Toronto Blue Jays, and he's very glad that Soto didn't go to the AL East.
Well, I'm happy he didn't go to the AL East. I'm happy he didn't go to Boston.
If it wasn't the Yankees, get out of the American League.
Exactly. And again, exactly. Get out of the American League. So we don't have to see you that often. We'll see you 4 times a year. Great. 6 times a year. Great. That's it. So, and again, let them battle it out with the Dodgers. Let them get a good rivalry going or something where, you can have, a couple of good teams and not just the Dodgers rolling through. Because Dodgers are stacked and they're going to be stacked for a little while. So,
and they added Snell. too.
Yeah, that move he's up and down Snell. So again, that's one that I'm happy the Yankees didn't go out and spend big money on Snell. But I am happy the Yankees went out and spent on Fried because he's the lefty. He's a guy who is a good ground ball guy, keeps the ball out of the air. He's since 2020 or 2019, he has the second best ERA. Him and Cole are like 1 and 2 in ERA as far as pitchers since like I think 2000 or 2019. And he got the biggest contract ever for a left-handed pitcher, which I thought was interesting. But at the same time, $27.5 million. You're paying about what you're paying Stanton.
Exactly.
It's less than you're having to pay Cole, and you didn't break the bank, but yet you brought back one of the best offseason acquisitions there was. So I'm all for it. I kind of like our rotation. I wouldn't mind getting one more.
You want one more? They have too many as it is.
Well, I think you got to get rid of
trading Nestor
and Stroman. I think Stroman's got to be the first piece to go. Unfortunately, he was kind of a.
I didn't mind Stroman, but you could steal on him easily. I think the Red Sox stole like 10 bases on him or something like that. It was a record. It was crazy. And that would open up $28 million because I believe he's making $20 million next year.
18, 20, something like that. And then, or like I said, and then if we had to get rid of Nestor too, I would do it if it meant bringing back somebody at the caliber of, say, Corbin Burns, if they were going to go out and spend big.
Oh, my God. No, I don't want that.
That'd
be over $30 million. So then you'd be paying Burns, Cole, and Fried, and Rodon over $20 million for each for 4 pitchers.
Yeah, but that's what. All I know is that I know Hal's a little upset right now, and I think Cashman and them are ready to spend. I don't think they're going to get Corbin Burns, so that's just a pipe dream of my own. I don't see it happening. If he goes to Toronto, I wouldn't like that, to be honest with you, because then we'd have to face him. He's kind of a strikeout guy. We tend to strike out a lot.
He was just with the Orioles.
Yeah, so again, I don't want to get him out of the division. Same thing we said about Soto. Get him out of the division. Get him out of the league. Get him somewhere else, and I'm fine with it. Like, just don't sign with the Red Sox or Toronto. I'm not worried about Tampa because they don't sign any free agents. They're cheap. And the Orioles, they tend to be on the cheaper side too. But again, they're going to have to pay some guys in order to keep, like wrong. Gunnar Henderson. Who's the other kid they had last year? That was really good.
Catcher,
Holiday?
No, he's the second baseman, Holiday. They do Jackson Holiday. And then they have Adley Rutschman.
Yeah, the catcher. They got a lot of good young talent on that team. But that's why, to be honest with you, the AL East is always one of the toughest divisions. I don't care what anybody else says, and I know that there's probably some bias to that, being I am a Yankee fan, but it is the toughest, in my opinion, division in Major League Baseball. And it's only getting tougher. So the Yankees need to do something to stay on top. I think they have more moves to come.
Oh, definitely.
I think what would be smart. Is there any chance? Has Vlad got one more year left up in Toronto, or what's Vlad got?
Yeah, this should be. I believe this is his last arbitration year.
Yeah. So I mean, will he be? I know you talked about
Yankees. They ain't making that.
No,
trade.
but do you think Toronto actually re-signs him? Like, do you think
I could see the Mets making that trade?
But do you think they trade him, or do you think they attempt to re-sign him?
I think they attempt to re-sign him because they're not looking to rebuild Toronto. If they did, they would have traded those guys this past season. I feel like, I think they want to go for it, and and like Jordan Knutson was saying, he wants to see Corbin Burns. They had the worst. Toronto had the worst ERA in the AL East last year. So if they got Burns and plus that offense, I mean, maybe you're making a little turnaround and you're now competitive in that division. But going back to Max Fried, he's really good, man. I didn't realize how good he actually was. He's got a real low whip, which I really like. That means he doesn't really walk or give up too many hits per 9 innings. He doesn't even give up really too many home runs. Like you said, he's a great ground ball pitcher. But I am a little concerned. He's never really pitched more than 30 starts in a season.
To be honest, that's the way baseball is going now. Guys are starting to be honest, less games. You're seeing some teams like Mets, Tampa Bay, whatever, going with bullpen games or 6-man rotations or whatever. So there's the guys who throw 200 plus innings now.
They're done.
You don't see that as much anymore. So I'm not as worried about that. I just worry about the length of the contract. Again, we talk about the back end of some of these deals. Once you get past a 5-year deal, to me, like years 6, 7, 8 in any deal, I don't care who it is,
Just be
you kind of got to worry. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit like, ooh, what do we do? But at the same time,
see, I always worry too. I always worry about these long-term deals. And they some way, somehow, always figure it out. Either he gets old enough and he doesn't have it, and they're like, oh, fake an injury, and you're done for the whole year. And they did that with Ellsbury.
But again, they still end up paying these guys, and then that still ends up hindering us getting more guys later on. So you got to be smart, and I'm hoping what they are this offseason is they're smart with who they go after and the money they're spending, because they have good young talent in the farm system. They have Dominguez. They have
Dominguez is now up on the roster.
That's what I mean. It's like, but I'm saying he hasn't really started yet, though. This is going to be his real rookie year.
Correct.
Then you have, they talk about the kid Tyler Durbin for second base, but to be honest, if you go out and get a third baseman, then you're probably not going to see Durbin, who had a great, apparently, like offseason here in the Arizona League, where he put a record for stolen bases, this, that, and the other.
It all depends. They can sign Bregman, but
I'm not, to be honest, I don't know how you feel about Bregman.
I like Bregman. I personally do, but if you're going to sign him to an 8-9 year deal, I don't want it, because he's already 31. I'm thinking like a 4 or 5 year deal max. If that doesn't get it done, I heard the Phillies are opting. I heard the Phillies would trade Alex Baum, so I would go after him.
I'm for using some young talent, though. And if you keep Chisholm at third, which I know he's a better second baseman, and bring up the kid Durbin, I'm okay with that too. I want to see some young talent, because I think the best rosters are the ones that can mix young talent with the free agents, with your older guys, with your vets. Like, you have to do that, and you have to inject that life. So I'm glad they gave the time to Volpe. I'm glad they gave the time to Wells this year.
Up the middle is going to be all young guys.
But Wells, it needs
Volpe,
to be,
and Dominguez.
It
all
does.
Up the middle.
So, and I hope that core becomes a core, and they stay, because again, they're young guys who are controllable. We have them for less money, which helps us go out and be able to spend on pitchers, help us be able to spend in other positions. And to be honest, it's part of what is okay about not landing Soto. It's not. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh my God, I'm so lucky we didn't." By not signing him, though, it does allow for more money to be able to be spent elsewhere.
Correct.
So if we were to get a Bregman and move Chisholm over to second, now you got your infield, and then your outfield. I don't know. They still, like you said,
don't have the infield yet.
Well, first base. They're going to end up signing Christian Walker. I don't want him, to be honest.
I don't know if I love that. He's 33, 34.
I don't love it. I really don't, but I'm looking at who's out there. And
I saw, though, like his OPS last year, it was 4th best among first basemen, which is good. But I don't know, man. I don't want him. I really don't. I don't know anything about him. I think that's really what it is. Like, he's jumped around, and he's becoming a free agent at 34. I don't like that. I just don't.
No, I'm trying to see who else was out there as far as
you got Alonso,
first baseman. Yeah, but Alonso's another guy that wants 30-something million a year. And to be honest, the best place for Alonso is the Mets. He should be a lifelong Met. Again, I'm not a Met fan, and if he came to the Yankees, I would take it, because I think he'd have a good year with the Yankees. But at the same time, I don't want to give him 5 years or 6 years. Like, I don't want to give him a long-term deal. And to be honest, for what they're looking to do, Christian Walker for 3 years, I prefer that over taking Alonso for 6.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he's got a better glove than Alonso does, too. All right. Let's see. I want to see.
Top 50 free agents.
Oh, there you go. You got that? Cool. That'll help.
No, I don't.
Okay.
It's behind the paywall. So we're not going to worry about that. But either way,
I'm going to have something.
There was another first baseman out there that was considered, I thought would be a better option, but they seem to really be fixated on Christian Walker. Yeah, see if you could take a look and find out who the other first baseman is. I don't know why his name's escaping me right now. No, I've heard Profar's name kicked around with the Yankees. I've heard Bregman. I've heard A lot of these, I
Yeah,
hear
they're
Cody
in on a bunch of guys. I know that.
Cody Bellinger is another one I've heard because they're like, oh, they could use him in the outfield. They could put him at first. They could do.
Yes, Bellinger, a trade with the Cubs. I've heard that as well.
I don't love that. We already had Bellinger, and to be honest, he wasn't
did?
special. We had him for a short period of time,
No, we didn't.
didn't we?
No,
Pretty sure.
I don't think we had Bellinger.
I'm
Wasn't he a Dodger for a long time?
Yeah, but then he went and got...
Nah, man, I don't remember Cody Bellinger. I think I'd be amped if we had Cody
no, he
Bellinger.
got hurt.
Are you thinking of Troy Tulowitzki? No. I know. Whatchamacallit, the Yankees love him. They've always wanted him. I never did. It's okay. No worries. It's all gravy, baby. We're all a little wrong sometimes. It's all good. Anyway. But yeah, no, I wouldn't mind Cody Bellinger if we got him. He could play first. He could play the outfield. You need guys to be positionless, kind of like in basketball per se. It just helps out.
How old is Bellinger?
I think he's 30. Should have had this information earlier. Sorry, everybody.
Probably should have.
It's all good.
We're doing a live show. But anyway, I don't. 266, 18 homers, 78 RBIs last year with the Cubs. I don't know about it.
He's 29. He will be 30 in July.
Okay, so again, you're getting a guy.
And he's going to be on a 1-year deal.
What do we got to maybe on a 1-year deal? I could live with it if we don't have to give up that much. Again, I don't want to give up Heel. I'm not giving up Dominguez. I would give up Spencer Jones.
Yeah, you've been saying that for a while. You don't like him.
I'm out on Spencer Jones. I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, but they're playing around too much with him. You know how I feel about the Yankees and their farm system too. Yeah. Is they too much? They tout these prospects, and then They've never
done that.
Esteban Florial just went out and signed in Japan somewhere. Like, and how many years did you hear about him coming up? Oh yeah, he's coming, and then coming to Japan.
Who was the catcher? Jesus
Montero.
There was huge.
Or I mean, even going back to the Killer Bees or the Jabba Rules.
Well, Betances did. I mean, he was straight as a middle reliever.
Yeah, but I mean, it still wasn't.
But you're right.
They were played with kid gloves.
Yes,
and they were like delicate flowers that the Yankees had to coddle, and instead of getting them ready for the big leagues, they spoiled their careers, in my opinion.
They did help win a 2009 championship. Hughes and Jabba. There we go. Man, terrible. Couldn't even think of that.
But yeah, so I mean, those are the biggest moves so far. Outside of that, Evaldi going back to the Rangers on a 3-year deal for $25 a year. Okay for them. Okay, I guess good for Evaldi, but I don't see that as something that like really moves the needle.
Texas upgraded at first base. I like Jake Berger. He was pretty good for a Marlin team that sucked.
Yeah, but so was Chisholm. You know what I mean? Like they had good pieces. It's just sometimes I don't know if it was the coaching, if it's just the environment down there. Miami's a tough place to play because you got a lot of distractions in Miami.
I'm sure.
Right off the bat, like you know what I mean. Like you got them in New York too, but you got a lot of distractions down in Miami. So
definitely.
As far as other moves made,
I know the Yankees still need bullpen arms. They definitely
everybody does though, and they're gonna fall like flies. Loizaga is another guy that I heard rumored to maybe go to the Mets.
Same,
but I'm hearing the Yankees.
I saw there was like 8 teams involved on Loizaga.
I bet he goes to the Yankees or the Mets though.
Would make sense. He's in New York. He's been in New York for a long time, so that it's all a matter of where he wants to go. The Giants got a good deal with Adames. I feel like.
He was another guy that the Yankees had been rumored to be looking at, but he signed early, and
he signed before Soto.
Yeah, I mean 7 years, 182. That's a good chunk of change for him.
I think that's like 25 a year, but that's not terrible. That's not a terrible deal. I mean, it's not 30, 35, $40 million a year. So I think that's a good signing by the San Francisco Giants. They swung and missed last year, the last couple years on free agency. So it's good to see them that they got somebody.
Yeah, batted 251, 32 homers, 112 ribbies. Another guy, 29 years old. You're seeing a lot of these guys between 29 and like 31 hitting free agency. And that's why I hope the Yankees just don't trade away some of this good young talent that they have. Some of these other guys they're touting, but they don't know. Like, again, Durbin. You want to use him in a trade because he had a great offseason, whatever, and you're feeling like you're going to slide Chisholm over to second, then maybe you look to put him in a trade, maybe get some other team excited about him
about that.
and go. But they got to pull the trigger, and they can't be afraid to do it. But at the same time, if they trade Heel, if they trade Dominguez, if they trade something stupid to get a guy like Tucker,
they better get something good back.
Well, I'm just saying, even if they get Tucker back, who people consider that would be great. If they get I
would not like that at all. He was
I'm hearing the package of Spencer Jones and Heel for Tucker, and I personally have said no. I wouldn't make that trade.
I don't like it.
I
just don't like it because of
for
how
1 year.
Controllable Heel is. He was like
exactly.
you said, the rookie of the year. And if Tucker had a couple more years under him, I think I'd be all for it. But if it's just a 1 year rental like Soto, I'm not.
That's it. Because again, he wants to come here. Why would he sign early? Again, if I'm the Yankees, I don't make that trade without the commitment that he's signing right now. Extension. Let's make it happen. If that's not happening, he's not worth it to me. Because why would you put yourself in the same position? We went out last year, traded Michael King pretty much with a whole host of other pitchers.
Yeah, but there was like 3 or 4 pitchers.
Out to San Diego to get. And now if we do it again, where's our young talent coming from in the minors? Because at some point, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have things come up. It happens to every team every year. You cannot sit here and think you're going to be 100% healthy all year. And you need to be able to bring up some talent. And if you trade it all away, you got nothing left to bring up. So I'm not a fan of trading Heel. I want to see what this kid can do. He's controllable for a bunch more years. Let's make it happen.
Same, man. Trade Nestor, trade Marcus Stroman. Don't trade Heel, please.
So, but outside of that, who do you think is the big winner so far of the offseason? I mean, I know there's still so much more offseason to go.
The Mets are the clear winner so far.
They got to be, right?
Without a doubt. You could say the Yanks are a winner too, because getting Fried is nothing to, just pish-posh about. But getting Soto, without a doubt, the Mets are winning the offseason.
If the Mets, they did get Soto, but if they're able to re-sign Alonso, plus maybe get Roko Saki, the kid from Japan, they win the offseason. I got to be honest. If the Yankees can somehow figure out a way and they bring in Fried, they bring in Sasaki, they get Christian Walker, they find a way to bring in a Bellinger or something, and maybe they win the offseason. But right now, the clear winner is the Mets, and they look like they could run away with it if they, like I said, they do the right thing and re-sign Alonso, because that man should be a lifelong Met. He shouldn't go anywhere else.
And plus the emotional clutch home runs he had during the postseason for them. I mean, that kind of like cements him. Come on, he's cemented in the Met history right there.
And that's why I think too you haven't heard much about him, because he really wants to stay with the Mets.
I heard actually he doesn't want to stay with the Mets. I don't know how true
that's all
that
Boris.
is.
That's all Boris.
I was going to say I don't know how true that is, but I heard that.
I believe nothing coming out of Boris or Boris Klein, to be honest with you, because he is all about...
Well, it's all about the game right now. You're playing the game.
Exactly. So that's why, knowing the game, I know he's full of shit. And I know the end game is to get Cohen to pony up more money for Alonso. That's the end game.
That is
but either way, I think he's going to sign somewhere between $25 and $30 million a year for a 5 to 6 year deal, and it's probably going to come with the Mets, because he's going to try to get another team or two interested. He's going to try to get, whoever else interested. But the thing is where he belongs.
Agreed.
And that's where I ultimately think he's going to end up.
I hope he ends up with the Mets, right back where he belongs. Like
but again, another team to shout out to our friend in the chat there, who's the Toronto fan. they're a team that tries every year to get somebody to come up there. That Rodgers family, they try to bring in free agents. They tried to go out and have meetings with Soto. They had tons of meetings with Ohtani that they thought went really, really well last year. They tried their best to get some of these guys, and I kind of feel bad because they don't go. And now I don't know if it's something between like the conversion rate or something else or taxes or whatever. I don't know what it is.
You do get double taxed.
You do. I know that. America always wants their money.
Yes,
they don't care what country you're working in. If you're in here at all, you're paying America.
I wonder if that's the case. Interesting.
But it's so hard, but they're in on everybody. And I don't think they're shy to spend it. They put it out there.
They do.
But nobody wants to go there. That to me is the most interesting thing.
And Toronto's a beautiful city. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. So I don't know if he's still rocking with us in the chat. If he is, feel free to tell us why some of these guys aren't signing there. And, I don't get it because you would figure they're playing in a dome, too. It's not like you're playing outdoors up there. You're playing
exactly. You got good players up there, too.
I mean, I'm happy as a Yankee fan they don't get some of these players, but at the same time, they're a team that can get scary real fast because they're years ago they brought in Roger Clemens. They brought in they're not afraid to go out and get guys.
Years ago, but you're.
But I'm just saying, even back then, they're not afraid to bring in guys.
They even brought in Roy Halladay.
They will
no,
try.
They had Roy Halladay.
They had Roy Halladay.
Yeah, they didn't bring him in. They traded him, or he left for free agency to the Phillies.
Yeah. But again, they're not opposed to it. So I'm interested to see what they end up doing because I don't think they're done trying to make moves this offseason either. I don't think they win the offseason by any means, but could they be on the positive side of it by the end of this? They sure could. We'll have to wait and see. We all lost out on the biggest prize other than the Mets of Soto. But the way the Yankees bounced back with Fried, like I said, I think it's a matter of semantics. From everything I'm hearing with Christian Walker, it's pretty much done anywhere between.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
26 to 28 million a year for 3 years is what they're looking at.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But then who's playing first base? You going to bring up Rice to do it next year?
Don't do that. We'll figure that out, man. Oh God! Trade for Goldschmidt. If St. Louis is looking to start over, I'll trade for Goldschmidt for a couple of years or something, man.
I don't think.
I don't want him for $28 million a year. That's nasty.
Yeah, but I think he's 33 or 34.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I also hear the Yanks are in on Santander to be their left fielder, possibly.
I don't like that.
I want somebody with glove and athleticism. I think they have a little too much power. Not that. Oh, there you go. Yankees keep the wise guy on a 1-year deal.
Yep.
Just came out. Boom. Beautiful. But I don't think you need to have a power bat in left field. Left field tends to be more like a kind of like center field. So during those years when we had who was it? Damon and Gardner, I've always felt like we were always solid in the outfield as far as defensively. So if we can go back to those days where we have hopefully Dominguez and then put another quote-unquote center fielder into left field, that'd be great. Somebody who's really good with the glove. Maybe they bring back Doogie. Doogie played a good left field last year. He's not a good bat. I admit that. He's not, but he's going to be a cheap option. No, because
they already have Grisham on the roster. I feel like they just use Grisham.
That's true. They did re-sign Grisham. You're right.
So I don't think they're going to... I think Grisham's where they're going to go. I don't think Verdugo's got any chance of coming back.
Yeah, so
although he was a dog, and listen, he played when he did Verdugo.
He was okay. I mean? He wasn't great, but there was times where he flashed, and I just think he's got good defense. So that's give me someone with good defense. I think we have enough power. Let's get a little.
Problem is we need hitting in the we need hitting, and we need guys who hit for average, and that's where I don't love. We need to start hitting for contact. And that was one thing I loved about Soto.
Yeah, man.
Is Soto wasn't afraid to just, hit. He wasn't always about the power and the uppercut and the trying to jack everything out. And
that's his greatest thing, man. He's a Hall of Fame hitter.
But we need more of that approach. And I feel like we got more of that approach from the team last year. But I don't know if it was because of him or because the team mentality changed. I think it was mainly because of Soto. And they saw, oh, well, look at what this guy's doing. Look at what Judge is doing. We better start doing more things like that. And I think losing Soto, I just hope they don't revert back to their minor league ways of, swing where they just uppercut at everything. And that goes for baseball in general. Like, baseball is better when there's more contact.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm glad they got rid of the shift. It opens things up a little more. Volpe was a little better this year. What did he bat? 250? So he batted 200 his rookie year. He went up to 250. So maybe this coming year he bats 270 or 280. So that's another guy. I think Dominguez is going to have a good bat. I don't think he's going to be batting like 220, 230. So, yeah, maybe we're a little deeper now. Hopefully.
I hope so, too. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason. The work's definitely not done yet.
Definitely not.
And I just want to know, though, looking at everything all together, do you expect the Yankees to be better, worse, or the same as next year?
I still think the Yankees
record-wise,
as of right this second, without anything else happening, I still think the Yankees are the best team in the American League.
That's a strong statement.
If they don't make any other moves, I still think they are the best team in the AL.
That's a real strong statement. Again, I think it depends on what they do here. I think it depends on what they do at first. Do they trade for a Bellinger? Do they do something else?
I think they will. I think Cashman's not gonna just lie down, man.
Last year that they traded for late in the year, it's blowing my mind right now because I could have sworn it was Bellinger and it wasn't, and I'm totally having a meltdown over it. I'm like, I feel terrible about it because I'm like, I know they went out and got somebody. He didn't work out. It was on. Then he ended up, I thought, going to the Cubs. But I'm totally wrong about that completely.
I know they got a pitcher. They have a pitcher that's on the Cubs. I know that. The guy from Pittsburgh. I forget his name.
But so do you expect Yankees were what, a 96 win team?
No. I do not expect the Yankees to be a 96 win team.
Now say they go out and make all those moves though. Where do you think they are? So right now without those moves, you think they're the best in the AL? And you don't think they're a 96 win team?
No. I think they're probably right back where they're at, like around 93, 94 wins. I know Fried helps the rotation better. Okay. All right. But I would take the under on 96 wins. How about that? I'll take the under. Maybe they'll win 95 games. Oh, you're still looking for the guy. Is that
I have to. It's killing me.
This is Jake Bowers. No. Yeah, while he looks for that. I definitely think the Red Sox upgraded. I like Garrett Crochet or whatever his last name is. I apologize for botching that. I think he's going to be really good with them. Like you said earlier, he's one of the better young pitchers in the game, and they gave up a whole bunch of prospects for him. But definitely bolsters their starting pitching. Toronto made a trade with the Guardians. They upgraded their second baseman. They got, I believe, Jimenez from the Guardians. Yeah, man. And I really want this kid Sasaki from Japan, especially since he's going to be super cheap. If the Yankees could get someone like that, that would be absolutely amazing. Keep the staff young and dynamic and cheap. We need something like that. You can't find it, can you?
Can't find it. Like I said, I must have imagined it in my head.
No, either way, a different year.
Listen, what I'm going to count it as, maybe I'm manifesting it. Maybe it's something that's coming to us.
I'm cool with Bellinger at first. I really am.
As long as where there's smoke, crazy, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So I think the Yankees are going to pull the trigger on some type of trade, whether it be for Tucker, I think they could pay less to get Bellinger than they would to get Tucker.
I agree with that.
I actually want to see what Tucker did last year.
I think he had like 30 homers.
Pulling it up right now. Let's see what Tucker did last year. Let's see why everybody's so hot on him. Kyle Tucker. Well, he's 27, so age right there. I know
Right
age
there.
played a big part in Soto's contract.
Absolutely.
26 years, 26. But again, an old 26. People don't realize that. He's an old 26. He's not a young 26. He's a guy that's got a lot of mileage on him because he's been playing since he was 18, 19 years old.
Same with Bryce Harper.
But again, you got to think about it. The back end of his contract, by the time, if he starts at 19, by the time he hits 39, which is, he's still going to have 2 years left after that, he's going to be 20 years in the league. How many guys are at the top of their game 20 years in? Nobody. That's why.
He's not going to be playing at that point.
But then you're just, that's where the back end of that contract is tough.
Who I could see this contract being like, and I hate to say it, I could see this being like Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera with the Tigers. He was awesome with the Marlins. He started when he was 18, 19 in the league, but by the time he was in his mid-30s, he was completely broken down as a player.
Same, I told you guys about it. I think the same with Andrew Jones. When he came in the league back in the late 90s, real young, real hot,
Real young.
led those Atlanta teams, to some World Series where they got lumped up by the Yankees. But at the same time, unbelievable young talent that by the time he hit 30, 31, 32, 33, the talent was not what it used to be.
Yeah,
and the speed, the everything else. That's why I'm telling you, the best thing that happened to the Mets is the DH coming into the NL. Because with that DH coming into the NL, you never know what could happen. But I mean, 27 years old, 289 last year, 23 homers, only 49 ribbies for Kyle Tucker.
What?
That's a low amount of ribbies considering a 23 homers.
993 OPS is really good, though. Not
It
gonna
is.
lie.
It is really good.
But 49 RBIs, what the heck? Where's he batting in the lineup? He batting seventh, eighth?
I don't know. Either way, he's a good young player, and I'm guessing the age of 27 is why it's more intriguing and why that Houston would ask for more. But to be honest, Houston's fleecing the Yankees if they think they're going to get Heel and Jones and whatever else. I'm not giving up Heel for anybody right now. I'm sorry. He's a guy I'm keeping. Dominguez is a guy I'm keeping. Wells I'm keeping.
He was hurt last year, apparently. Tucker.
Part of the year.
Because he only had 277 at-bats. So he had 23 homers and 277 at-bats. That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because what, like 500 is technically like a full season? Kind of, sort of. So project that out. That's like 40 homers, man. 35, 40 homers.
In the league a few years. I mean, been better and better each year, it looks like, slowly. But again, I'm looking at average. Guy never hit 300 yet. He's gotten to 294 once.
But that's fine. In today's baseball, 240 is your average. So if he's hitting 289, that's great.
274 average is what he's got. Which, again, nothing to sneeze at, but not a guy I want on a one-year rental to give up rookie of the year for. I'm not giving up a guy who's rookie of the year to get a guy on a one-year rental who is, good, but not... This is, to me, like, we're scorned because we lost out on Soto. So now, oh, my God, getting Kyle Tucker. Look, that's just as good as if we were... No, it's not. And I'm sorry to say it's not. And you can't just look at the next guy and be like, oh, well, if we get him,
400 on base percentage, too, last year.
He's a good player. I'm not going to sit here and knock him. He's very good.
What if they
but not a guy I'm trading a rookie of the year for.
1 for 1? Heel straight up?
No. Too much control. And what's he going to ask for? I don't know who his agent is. If it's Boris, you're screwed. To be honest, if I'm the Yankees, I'm out on all future Boris clients because I'm tired of the way he works. He's got a tired playbook. Everybody knows it by now. He takes the Yankees and he pins them up against everybody else because he knows, if I get the Yankees involved, the rest of these teams will spend more money.
Correct.
And that's why
now it's going to get the Mets involved.
They didn't give the Yankees an option to match because there was a lot of people out there and there's a lot of confusion between with Yankee fans and people out there saying like, the Yankees had a chance to match the offer. The Yankees never got a chance to match. The Yankees got a chance to bid again, but they didn't get a chance to match.
That's fine.
And that's different because you're not coming in saying, listen, this is what the Mets were going to give us. You give us the same, we'll sign with you. He's now saying, no. Give me another bid. Why? Because he's just going to take that bid and go back to Cohen again.
Exactly.
It's like buying a house. Like that happened when I was trying to buy a house. Every house you try to buy, you put in an offer. Great. They get, and then they're like, oh, well, now the homeowners want, your final and best offer. And then you give them that. And then they're like, oh, now we want everybody's final best offer. And it's like, eventually you got to say, I'm done. Hey. But these agents don't care. It doesn't matter if it's a real estate agent.
Money.
That's it, because that's all they're graded on is how much money did we make? How much money did this contract bring in? How much money did this house bring? How much money? It's money, money, money. And with Boris, his playbook. If I'm the Yankees, you're not going to reset. You're not signing Alonso, so I'm not even in on Alonso. I'm not even having a conversation. I'm not even getting a meeting. If he wants a meeting with the Yankees, I'm not taking it because I know you're not signing here. I'm sorry, I'm done. If you want to see me worked up about something, it's not worked up about Soto and his decision. Get your money. That's what you were all about. You were a 1-year mercenary, and I said it all year long while the Yankees were playing. This was it. 1 year. We got 1 year, one shot at this with Soto. Because there's no guarantee for next year. Because I knew he came in as a mercenary. He came in wanting the most money. He got the most money. Good for him.
He did.
I'm not shouting it. But with Boris, it's always the same with Boris. And that's why Boris clients last year kind of got screwed. So this year he's on a revenge tour trying to get more money. So that's why Blake Snell got a bunch of money. That's why you see Soto setting this record contract. Because Boris feels like he got screwed last year.
Well, I'm not trying to be rude. The Boris clients last year weren't necessarily Boris clients, if you understand what I mean. They weren't Juan Soto. They weren't Blake Snell.
Blake Snell was one of those clients last year. He didn't get that money last year.
He got a 5-year deal, but with some opt-outs, obviously why he went back out onto the market. But yeah, Jordan Montgomery is one of your freaking clients, man. You weren't getting him.
But outside of Soto, so now that Soto is signed, everybody else isn't Soto though.
Correct.
And so he's going to try and pull every dollar he can out of these teams.
I think Pete's going to get a good contract. He's hit like 35 homers, I think, the last 4 years. So I think Pete's going to get a good contract from somebody. I don't know who, but from someone.
Yeah, but it's not going to be the Yankees. And I'm over Boris, to be honest with you.
So you're making a trade. The same. We're going for a trade. Some way, somehow.
Yeah. Just not with a Boris client.
Not with a Boris client. All right.
I know there's a lot of Boris clients out there, and I know the Yankees got a couple probably on their roster, but as of right now, I'm done with you. I don't want to hear you. Don't call me the rest of this offseason.
Done with you.
We'll worry about next offseason with you.
No more. Cut off.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Maybe Christian Walker's
Jerks
his
and
agent.
Profar. Come on down. Play left
No. Oh, you want to see me vomit? No. Don't do that. No, we have enough outfielders. Like,
we need a corner outfielder.
I don't know.
Well, who are you putting out there? Oswaldo Cabrera, Trent Grisham. I think that's all we got.
All right, maybe we need a left fielder and a third baseman and a first baseman.
All right, left field we have Cabrera. Center field's Dominguez, Trent Grisham, and then right field is Stanton and Judge. That's it. That's all we got.
All right, so we need outfielders.
Yes, we do.
All right, then maybe make the move for Bellinger because you could get him for us. And they got to make a move for a first baseman. But again, I'm telling you, it's going to be Christian Walker. Everything I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard everything with
for
that
the last
too.
3 weeks.
I did not know it was that kind of money, though. If I'm being honest, I don't like the money.
It's I think close to 27, so it's going to be somewhere around 27 a year.
But whatever.
3 years, but it's 3-year deals. So it's not. We're not getting into 5, 10-year deals.
I'd overpay for 2 because he's old already.
I'd say 2, and maybe that third year is an option.
Yeah, team option.
Club option for that third year. But that's again us dreaming. It'll probably be a 3-year deal with a 4th for an option. Who knows?
You're probably right.
I'm gonna throw this out to you though, and I know he took a huge drop off. But is there any chance that instead of spending that money on him, on Walker, that you would think about retreading the tire, seeing if there's anything left with Rizzo?
Nah, I'm good. I'm personally.
So you're kind of treating him the way we treated Brett Gardner. We're like, we're good.
I'm good.
We know you want to be here, but we're good.
I appreciate. Ever since the concussion, I'm good with you, bro. You're not the same player. I hate to say that. I really
Scrambled
do.
his eggs is what it did.
I kind of think it did. I don't think he's the same player anymore, man. I appreciate what he's done the last 2-3 years, but I didn't even want to re-sign him a couple years ago, if I'm being honest with you, because of he's always had an injury problem. So thank you for all you've done. I'm ready for you to move on, though, and I apologize, Anthony Rizzo. But I want someone younger.
Me too.
I don't want to replace you with Christian Walker, but if that's what we're gonna have to do, that's what we're gonna have to do.
So just running through a list
I'd even
here.
be down with Carlos Santana for a year, man. As long as
Carlos Santana.
are these the free agents?
That's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, hang on. All the 2024, 2025 free.
Oh, wasn't aware of that. Okay. All right, so there is Christian Walker, Pete Alonso available. There's also Carlos Santana.
But this is saying Goldschmidt's available. We don't even have to trade for him.
He's 37.
He is 37.
Did not realize that. Santana's 39, and I'm saying I want them more than Christian Walker.
But that's why, yeah, it's hard. I mean, imagine trying to retread the tires on Joey Gallo right now.
No, God, no. Not Joey Gallo, bro.
Yuri Gurriel is another guy I've heard,
Dude,
but I'm like, I wouldn't even want him on a 1-year deal.
Nope. I would take my chances if I'm going with any of these older guys. Like I said, either Santana, Goldschmidt, or nah, not Justin Turner.
To be honest, the
Just
best
Santana
on this
Goldschmidt.
list is probably Christian Walker.
Ugh.
As sad as it is to say.
It's not a good list.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it there as far as, we're not bringing in a second baseman by any means, I don't think. We need a third baseman, and that's where I kind of wanted to turn the attention now, because I thought Adames maybe could have played third for us before he went to
The Giants.
But, I mean, you have Bregman, who's probably the top of the list as far as third baseman, but you're going to have to pay him $30 million a year, probably, anywhere between 27 and 30.
Probably.
And if I'm not mistaken, is he a Boris Klein as well? Would you be able to look that up? I'm pretty sure he's a Boris Klein as well. May not be though. I don't know. I don't like Boris. That's that's just a personal bias. But I'm looking at the list of third basemen. JD Davis. I don't want him. John Birdie. We tried that already.
Yeah, he is.
He is a
so
Boris.
is Alonso. So is Corbin Burns
Yep.
and Sean Manaea.
Yeah, so we're probably out on all those guys. Although I am hearing a lot of rumors about the Yankees and Bregman. But again, I think those are all bullshit, because I think it's all Boris trying to get like, oh man, the Yankees are very close signing him. You guys got to get involved now.
Dude.
Give us your best offers.
I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind them re-signing as a bench player John Birdie. I know he was hurt this year, but he's a professional.
35.
Dude, he's a professional at bat. When I was watching him play, he's professional at bat, could put the bat on the ball. He could play first, third. I think he even played second or something. Like,
Why not Gio? He's already been here. We played well with us. Why not Gio or Urshela if you're going to kick the tires that way?
And Birdie even led the league 1 year in stolen bases, dude. I want him back.
I don't want him.
I do.
I'd take Gio before I took him back. That's just me personally.
I would take Birdie.
Over, under.
Not as a starter. I'm saying as a bench guy.
Over, under 50% chance the Yankees sign Bregman.
Over. So I think they want to
Better
put
than a coin flip.
I think they want to put guys back in their positions. They don't want to keep guys out of position. They don't want to keep Judge in center. They don't want to keep Jazz at third base. I truly believe they want a better infield, better defensive infield, and that's why you'll see Bregman. If not Bregman, it's going to be some type of good defensive third baseman. And you're probably right with Christian Walker at first, or Cody Bellinger.
I'm going to throw a weird name out to you. Because other than Verdugo, because again, he seems to be one of the younger guys on this list of left fielders, believe it or not. What would you think about bringing Tommy Pham in for 1 year?
The guy always makes the playoffs. I know that much. Wherever he goes, they always win. He's a professional guy. He's very good defensively. If he was going to be a bench player, like our fourth outfielder, I wouldn't mind that. And Trent Grisham could be the fifth. I wouldn't necessarily want him to start, but on the team, sign me up. He seems to be a good clubhouse guy. He wins where he goes. So
Verdugo for 2 years or Tommy Pham for 2 years?
Tommy Pham for 1 year. How about that?
But I'm saying, if you needed a starting left
If
fielder,
I'm going 2 years, then give me Verdugo at 29.
all right.
And he knows how to play the left field already. He was there for a year, so I would take him.
We can kick the tires on Aaron Hicks too.
No thanks. I'd rather Harrison Bader over him.
Yeah, I mean,
and then you got Teoscar Hernandez at right, but he's a little older. I think he's like 32.
Where do we think some of these pitchers end up? And I think we're gonna wrap it up here because looking at some starting pitchers of what's left on the list, you have Corbin Burns up towards the top. Probably the best on the list. After that, you got Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, the guy Dodgers traded
really
from at the
drops
trade
off after
deadline.
there.
Yeah, you still got Verlander.
42-year-old. I'm not bringing a 43-year-old Verlander in.
I'm not.
I'm sorry. I don't care if he pitched well last year. I like Flaherty at 29 years old, but again,
I wonder if the Dodgers re-sign him.
yeah, I don't know if the Yankees are necessarily going to make a move for another starting pitcher, being that they made Rodon the year before.
If they do, it's
Fried.
not going to be anything crazy like this. It would be like a Sasaki or somebody cheap.
Sasaki would be the only guy I would think about probably bringing in as another starter. I think they're okay starter-wise. Relief pitchers is where we really want to go, and yes. I think the name we want to really dive into real quick is Tanner Scott. He was a guy who they were looking to trade for last year, and didn't pull the trigger. Didn't get instead got Chisholm instead from Miami, but is a guy I know they've been targeting. Any chance they could sign Tanner Scott?
I do want Tanner Scott. I'm not gonna lie. I would like for him.
So I haven't heard much talk around him.
Jeff Hoffman is. I have no idea who that is. I'm not gonna lie. But same thing. I haven't heard a lot about Tanner Scott yet, or any teams that are in on him. But if he's the big arm of the winner, then I would definitely hope the Yankees are in on him. However, the way that they normally go recently is they try to make trades and they find somebody, or they look at somebody who's been, I guess, bad in the past and try to revamp them. Because look what they did with Weaver. Look what they did with Holmes. Holmes was okay with Pittsburgh, and he ended up being an all-star for a few years with the Yankees. So, as much as I want Tanner Scott, I have a feeling Cashman is going to look to go the cheaper route and try and reform somebody.
All right. I'm looking down the list here, and some names that jump out to me, but I don't know what you would do with them necessarily. So a lot of guys on this list are like David Robertson, 40 years old. Kenley Jansen, 37. Chris Martin, 39.
There's a lot of older
relievers. A lot of older relievers. So do you maybe try to pick the best one and get a 1-year deal for one of these older guys? Do you look at it like, a Craig Kimbrell at 37 and be like, maybe could he come in and be a 7th inning guy or an 8th inning guy? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it
says that the Phillies, the Dodgers, they're into Tanner Scott right now.
A lot of teams should be in on him. He's the best out there right now, as far as relief pitching.
Agreed. There's no real closer out there, right? I think
Adam Ottavino. No, there's no real closer. He is the closer on the list.
I think there was one, Chapman, right?
Yeah, Chapman's there, but you're not bringing him in again.
No, he signed with the Red Sox anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's right, 1-year deal, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Tanner Scott's the real prize of relief pitching. Everybody after that, you're kind of going off of gut, and if you think they're going to bounce back, if you think they got enough left in the tank, that's kind of what's out there right now. Now, I mean, the Yankees, though, I think they get Scott Efros back next year, though, right? But, I mean, he's coming back off of injury, so you don't really know what you're going to get there. I like the re-signing of Loizica for a year with an option for a second.
Don't be biting my jeans.
And,
I'm with you on Loizica, but, again, we got to see what they're going to do. I don't think Cashman's done by any chance, by any means. We'll see.
All right, so I'm thinking a successful offseason for the Yankees would include some combination of Christian Walker, Rokasaki maybe, possibly, but I don't think he wants to be a Yankee.
I don't think he's coming.
Well, no, because apparently his agents come out and said something about like maybe wanting to start with a small market team to like, you know, get his feet wet, whatever.
Okay.
Where the Yankees are like, we want to come in and make you the best pitcher of all time. Like, so I just don't know if they're mentally aligned right now. We'll have to see. I would love to see it. I think Tanner Scott is another guy, and what kind of trade they can make, whether it's going to be for Tucker or Bellinger, and how that affects the rest of the roster. If they could do those things, I think they'll be successful. As far as the Mets go, I think the Mets are successful already because they went out and signed the best player in the offseason, Soto. Mm-hmm. They're going to probably re-sign Alonso at some point. I would imagine if they don't, they're stupid, and I would rail against Steve Cohen for that because as a guy who prides himself on being a Met fan and owner, like a fan first, he should know that Pete Alonso belongs a Met.
Oh, he definitely does.
You know, the polar bear should be a Met. If he's not, I would love for the Yankees to steal him, but it would never happen because he's Boris Clinton. Boris always takes the Yankees to the cleaners. That's what he does. So I think some combination of, I think they need starting pitching in the worst way. I think the Mets are the team when we're looking at that starting pitching up here.
They're gonna get it. I honestly
they're
believe
gonna sign a couple of these guys. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end up. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think we're going to have to do another one of these shows come like January, like probably
maybe
right
after the holidays.
After the holidays, maybe see where some other pieces land. Plus, by then, believe it or not, by the time we get out of holidays, we're less than
we're almost at spring training.
We're almost to pitchers and catchers. We're 5-6 weeks away from pitchers and catchers. So I love talking baseball with you, my friend.
Me too.
I look forward to doing this as baseball starts to ramp back up. Because guess what? My football season's over already. Bama out of the playoffs. Giants are a laughing stock.
Like, at least, though, your fantasy teams are killing it. So you're in the fantasy playoffs, at least.
So are you, too. But your Jets also suck ass.
Yes, they do.
So all of that, like, New York football's out. New York basketball's in. Hockey's still in. Devils, Rangers, let's go. Yeah. And until next time. Yeah, Joey, why don't you tell them where they can find you?
Give me a little music first, bro. Give me a little music.
You want to dance?
I want to dance. Love this little song.
It grows on you, right?
You can find me on Instagram at JoeyDot47. That dot stands for Die on This Hill. That's right, baby. Eric, where can everyone find you?
They can find me at The Living Legend on X. They can also find us. Please like, subscribe, follow, share, do all those things for us. We greatly appreciate it. At Die on This Hill on YouTube. At Die on This Hill on Facebook. Find us there. You'll see our logo and our unofficial fourth host here who's chewing on his ball and having some fun with us. Louie, and until next time, don't be afraid to have an opinion. Don't be afraid to be happy if you're a free agency fan because a lot of good things are happening.
Met fans, go nuts.
Have an opinion and die on this hill with us.
See you next time, baby.